Say so. Hello, hello, hello there. Um, hello to everyone. Ones joining me live and the ones who I know will be watching the replay. So I just wanted to say, guys, that I'm super excited, and I hope you are, as things are moving along. And I just wanted to ask you though, we've been doing a lot of work over the last few months, really, right? And I trust that you've had a chance to take a look back over the last 90 days. If you watched last week's live training, where I asked you to do a review of what's been working and what hasn't been working, right? Have you had a chance to do that? Have you had a chance to do that? Do you know what's working and what's not working, right? Whether you're tuning in and watching the replay later, I'd love to know, right? Because as I was saying last week, I want to make sure that you guys are staying accountable and that you're doing the work. So what has worked and what hasn't? Any questions or concerns regarding this? Any questions or concerns regarding this? You can drop those in the comments if there are any, right? Or reach out if you're watching the replay. So let me ask you though, if you've had a chance to look at the last 90 days, as you look ahead, what are your plans for the next 90 days? And what are you most excited to see happen? I'd like to know that, right? So just a little bit about what we talked about in the last training, right? What we want to do is eliminate the things that's not working, that hasn't been working. And when I say eliminate, doesn't mean like cut it off right now, but maybe just pause, right? So that you can look at other things, right? If you note the ones that are working right now, what we want to do is amplify those, right? So continue and amplify those. So do more of the things that are currently working in your business. And can you pinpoint 3 things that are currently working, right? Also, as we're eliminating, we might want to add other things, right? So you might want to add a new strategy or a new process. So hopefully that makes sense. So I want you to always be looking at what's working, what's not. And of course, we want to give things time because we know that things won't happen overnight. And that when we're even looking at the organic marketing, right, that it will take time to build. So hopefully that makes sense, right? So over the last few weeks, we've been looking at writing high-level content and copywriting because we know that this copywriting is a crucial part in your business, right? It's a crucial part of your business. So, but not only do we want to look at writing high-level content and copywriting, we want to look at ways to convert them, right? Because after all, this is a convert to scale project, right? So I just want to touch on a few things. And over the next few weeks, we're going to be looking at strategies. This is where we're going to dive into strategies. So that's why it's crucial that we set some pieces in place first, right? Does that make sense? Drop a comment for me if that makes sense. Now, a few ways that you can convert your content, right? Whether it's a post or video, whether it's on your profile, in groups, whether it's paid ads, right? A few ways that we can do that, right, is usually to have a link to your offer, whether it's a purchase event, your freebie, you want someone to book a call, right, etc. So when we're looking at organic, there are usually 2 ways, right, on our profiles or in groups. And when we're looking at paid traffic, it's right on our business page. But whether you're looking at paid traffic, because I know that some of my clients are already doing a paid ads, right? We know that it's crucial that we have a good organic game going on because people are going to want to check you out. You know this, right? So it's either a link to your offer, whatever your offer looks like, right? It could be like a call to action, right? On your video or your post, right? Send me a message, where you're getting people to send you a message so that you can start a conversation. And having conversation in Messenger, right, is powerful. This is one of the fastest ways to cash, right? You can also get people to take action via your Facebook or Instagram stories, because we're going to be looking at some of the content that you're writing, right? Or even your video, 15 to 60-second video, right? And we're going to turn those into Facebook and Instagram stories, right? Because those will be powerful too. So here's a hot tip, right? Video helps to build instant credibility, whether it's via a live training, doing a live on your profile, or whether it's a value video on something, right, with a simple call to action. A value video usually, 3 to 5 minutes. Of course, it could be 2 minutes, but usually we don't recommend like too much longer, right? Under 10 minutes for sure. So hopefully that makes sense. So the sweet spot would be a 3 to 5 minutes, where you're delivering value, right? Real value with a call to action, where you can start even having a conversation in Messenger, right? So hopefully that makes sense. But we're going to be going through these strategies later. Another thing too is when we look at content and copy, right? And I did explain the difference between content and copy, right? There's the content that we're showing our credibility and really delivering value. And then the copy is usually the one that we're wanting people to raise their hands, right? When we talk about copy, it's more of a lead gen type that you can either use organically or you can use it for paid ads, right? So when we look at content and copy, what we're looking for is to get people to either purchase immediately, or secondly, to enter our ecosystem. This is why we can organically or even paid ads, we want to get emails, hopefully, right? Whether it's subtle or a direct ask, because I was saying via a link or just getting people to, comment something or raising their hands for something, a softer pitch, right? Because the reason why we want to get people into our ecosystem is that the people in our ecosystem, they are our warm audience, whether these people are on our profiles, right? Whether they're in our Facebook groups, if you've got a Facebook group, or they're on your email list, right? They're warmer, they know who we are. So usually we're attracting people in groups or via ads, right? Those people are most likely cold, right? Most likely cold, and we're moving them to warm, and then we're moving them from warm to hot. So hopefully that makes sense. And if you've got any comments, let me just make sure that things are good over here. Okay, makes sense. All right, so remember, we've gone through multiple times where we talk about your buyers group, right? Remember your buyers group? You should know what I'm talking about by now, right? The buyers group where I say 2 to 3% are ready to buy, 6 to 7% are almost ready to buy. Then there's a 30% who will buy from you in the future. We're talking within the next 2 years, right? It could be anywhere from 90 days to 2 years. And of course, there's a 60% who will never buy from you for various reasons. And I've explained that a lot. But for those of you who are just hopping in here, you might not have heard or arrive at that when you're listening to this training. So what we're saying is that the 60%, there's nothing wrong with the 60% who will never buy from you. Sometimes they're your fans, your raving fans. Sometimes they're your family members. Sometimes they're people who you've connected with. They might have been in your audience for a very, very long time, but they're not ideal for your offer, right? For different reasons, they're not. So that's the 60%. And of course, I've gone through the training of stacking your profile with the right people, right? So I've done a training on that. So if you're listening to this replay and you want me to point you to where that training is, so you can check that out, do let me know. So good so far? Now, what I wanted to say is, why focus on organic marketing first? Can you tell me in the comments here? Do you know why I would want to focus on organic marketing first? I'm putting you to the test. Why organic first? Some reasons here. Why organic marketing first? And I'm just gonna wait. It's probably hard to type, right? So let me see if you're gonna get it. I will start in the meantime. I will do that. Because although organic marketing is more time consuming, it's a cheaper way to build your business. Does that make sense? So you're either going to be paying for ads, which I usually don't recommend off the bat, because I've done that before I even got clear on my offer, before I got clear on how I wanted to position myself in the market, so that I can get my marketing messaging or my marketing message on point, right? So organic market is usually recommended first. And what you want to do is to build your audience with the right people, right? And validate your offer to perfect your messaging and position. Because when you're clear about what you need to do organically, right, it will be less time consuming and costly when you decide to move to incorporating paid ads, when you're moving to scaling. Does that make sense? Because you would have already done a lot of the testing. You would have done a lot of the, you'll know what content works for your people, what words to use. Remember, we're also talking about the different type of brand words way back in some of the training, right? The brand words, what words are you using? Remember we were talking about also the, who are your ideal people, right? Besides the demographics and the psychographics, we went deeper into who are they, right? What characteristics do you want them to have? And all that, because those will be helpful in your copy, right? So as I was saying, when you're clear about what you need to do organically, right? Then when you move over now to now incorporating paid ads, which we will be doing for some of you guys who are at that point later in this program, right? So organic marketing, when done the right way, will allow you to know your ideal people, and it will also help you to warm up your Facebook pixel. Do you have a Facebook pixel? Because if you've been posting, if you have a strategy, a funnel, because when we're talking about ads and stuff like that, we're going to want a funnel, right? A funnel down the road. And this is why it's so crucial that you know what you're doing organically, so that when we build that funnel, whatever that looks like, right, you're warming up your Facebook pixel, so that when you do ads, and I'm probably preaching to some people who are already familiar with this, but let me just, with the algorithm changes and all that, I want to make it clear that it's so important that you have a Facebook pixel installed in your funnel, even if you're not using paid traffic. What that does, it gives you the data. It also will help you to lower your ad cost later, right? Because people are going to your landing, whether it's a landing page to, register for an event, whether it's a landing page where you're getting people to get into your program or your courses or your low ticket offer. So hopefully that makes sense. So what I want to do is to make sure that even though we're doing organic marketing, that we have the pixel installed, because I know that many of you are using Facebook right now, right? So hopefully that makes sense. Any questions, for sure, just drop it in the comments for me, and I will take a look at that. What we want to do with the organic marketing as well is that we want to be able to protect our ecosystem. Remember what I said, your ecosystem is? right? Your ecosystem has the warm people, whether they're on your email list, on your profile, in your Facebook group, right? We want to be able to identify those people. But when I talk about the ecosystem in this instance, it's people, even though they're on your profile, they may not be like warm. Does that make sense? They're your warm audience. They know who you are. But we know that a lot of the people on our profile still they're not clear about what we do. Does that make sense? So, but the people on our email list and the people in our Facebook group, they would have a pretty good idea. So that's why it's so important that we're, posting and getting to know the people and getting them to take that further action, right? So that they can get to know us better, so that we can move them from warm to hot, whether through our live events that we do, or whether it's through a paid, a program, coaching, courses, low ticket, whatever, right? They're now in our system. Because, I don't know where you're at in your journey right now, but I just want you to know that, a lot of my clients who've come to me, they're either came to me through my low ticket offer, most likely a low ticket offer, or they've been on my email list. Sometimes I make an offer and people are purchasing. And then I'm like, who is this person, right? But they've been on my email list for a while. But a lot of them have come through on a lower ticket offer. So what I want to say is, as we're protecting our ecosystem, we're looking at calling out our ideal people and using polarizing content. And when I talk about polarizing content, I'm not talking about content that's cold or condescending or anything, but really it's content that will call out our ideal people and repel the ones that we don't want, right? So that's why it's important. Sometimes you'll see people will say, if you're a 6-figure business owner, or if you're a 7-figure business owner, this is for you. What are they doing? They're polarizing. They're making sure that they're attracting the right people. So those are different ways that you can do that, right? You can talk about, you'll hear me talk about, my content, my clients, are so and so and so, right? Really identifying the ideal people that I want to work with. So hopefully that makes sense for you. Any questions? Yeah, because it's easier and you don't have to pay with money. Yeah, exactly. It's easier. You don't have to pay right now. And organic will allow you to do a lot of testing, right? To get clear on your niche. Because a lot of times you'll know, okay, I know I'm a business coach, right? For example, but where do you see the need? Based on the people in your audience, what do they want, right? And also, what do you feel comfortable in teaching? What are you passionate about, right? And all those are the foundational pieces. This is why it's so important that people who come into any of my programs, they're still going through the Connect to Convert project, because that's where you get clear on a lot of the marketing positioning, your messaging, your niches, getting clear on your offer, et cetera, right? So even though you'll spend more time organically, you're learning. This is where you're gathering your data. This is where you're getting good at what worked, what didn't, what post worked, what didn't, right? So any other questions, definitely, or if you need clarification, drop those in for me. So what did I say for tips? And I'm just going to review this so that it's clear for a lot of people. So when we first started this live training today, I said to remember to go back and look at what you've done in the last 90 days, so that when you're looking forward to the next 90 days that you're clear on what you're doing going forward, right? So we want to eliminate the things that's not working. We want to continue with the ones that are working. And we also could add others, right? Whether it's a strategy or a process to your system, right? Because we're serious business builders. Is this correct? Drop yes in the comment if you're with me on that. Right? So we looked at, we talk about that now that we've, created some content, right? And we know the difference between content and copywriting. Now we're going to look at ways to convert from our content and copies. And this is where we're going to be moving now into the different strategies, because what we want to do is to develop your sales and marketing plan, right? That we're going to be moving forward with based on the strategies that you decide to work with, whether it's two to three or four, right? But hopefully we can zero in on 2 to 3 strategies that we can use. Hopefully 3 by now, right? So we want to look at ways to convert our copies. So the next part that we'll be moving into are the strategies. So hopefully that makes sense, and I hope you're ready. It's the perfect time now to be moving into strategies, right? It's the perfect time to be moving into strategies. We're now looking at pretty quick here, Black Friday, Christmas, that time of the year, right? So definitely strategies. All right. Now, what I wanted to say too is that, we also talk about getting the right people into our ecosystem, ECO system, right? And we talk about the different types of people who are on there. And I'm just going to share the screen right here so that if someone is watching this for the first time, they'll have an idea and they will see this. Not sure why I have 2 screens showing, but let me show this. I think that's the right one. Right? So we're looking at the buyers group. Almost ready, right? 30% will buy from you in the near future within the next two years. So people usually say within 90 days to 2 years, right? So we could say that. Hopefully that makes sense. 60% will never buy from you for various reasons, right? Now, what I wanted to look at now is, let's look at what we want to do for the next little while, right? We want to start making your 90-day plan. Start looking at your 90-day plan and figuring out what you're doing for the next 90 days. And this is something that we can fine tune together, guys, right? But you've got to work on it, figure out do some work, and then we can talk about this. And then, of course, I'm going to ask you to reach out to people, 10 people per day, whatever you decide that is. This is a recommendation, right? Hopefully you can do more, and when I say per day, I'm talking Monday to Friday, right? Not like every single day unless you want to. Because what we're doing is we're building our audience, right? That's what we're doing, building it. And, you don't have to take the conversation. When you're reaching out to your 10 people, you don't have to take your conversation too deep either. You don't even have to make a pitch or an offer, whether that right now, right? Eventually, you might want to invite people to your event, right? Or follow up to see what they want, but it could be as simple as, and I'm talking about reaching out to people. I'm not talking about the people who have raised their hands for your offer, right? You know that by now, hopefully. I'm talking about the people that you come across either in your group that might in a group that you think might be a good fit for what you have to offer, right? It's the people that have the things that you're looking for. Who are these people that you want to say, hey, Jane, happy to connect, right? Happy to connect. You know that I've recommended a question, but you don't even have to do a question if you don't want to, but you're just gonna send that out. And the reason why you want to start having conversations with people right away, and hopefully they will respond back to you, is because now when you want to talk to them, once they've connected, they're ready. You can have conversations without Facebook giving you a slap, right? Say, hey, you're talking to too many people all at once. You're having this event and now you want to invite a whole bunch of people to your master class or your workshop or whatever, you know, you can start having that conversation, right? You can just hit them up with whatever you want to talk about. Hey, thanks for, commenting on my post. How are you doing? What is it that you do? Tell me a little bit about your business, right? We'll go to the middle of the top of the funnel, the middle of the funnel, and the end of the funnel, the DM chat funnel, the flow eventually. And they're training on that, right? But these are things that we want to do, is that you don't have to pitch. You're just building your audience with the right people and you're starting that conversation, right? Because also once you start having conversation with people and they respond back and all that, and you might only have two things, right? Is that now Facebook is showing people your content, because they're saying, hey, they're friends, they're talking. So now more people are seeing your content. So this is why it's crucial that you're still reaching out. And, because what we want to do, guys, we start putting out content, we want people to start reaching out to us instead of us reaching out to people. Does that make sense? Hey, you'll get to the point where people are going, hey, what do you do? Right? I love what you're doing. What are you doing? Or what do you have to offer? Or I need your help. You'll get that. It's just that it will take some time. Right? And of course, I'm going to say, continue to practice proper self-care. Always, always, always. And if you have any questions, don't forget to submit them to support at Strike Network Group. Right? And as we move in, I want to see more people on the live calls. I know that many of you are watching the replay, but we're moving into this time of the year, the last quarter, Q4. So I'm looking for us to just go at it. And as usual, as I wrap up this training, you guys know that you can reach out to me. I'm here to support you. Nothing brings me more pleasure than to support you. I want to see all of us winning. Okay, so let me show my face now. I'll stop share as I wrap up this training and say goodbye. Any questions? No question? Yeah, we're good. Yes, I see yes. What do you mean? Yes, clarify. You're good? Okay, no questions. Okay, no questions. Okay, cool. So I will end the recording here and stop the recording here. And